Good morning, everyone. Tina Spalding, Trance channel here for our daily Course in Miracles lesson together. Thank you for joining me today. Today we are doing lesson number 160. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Fear is a stranger to the ways of love. Identify with fear and you will be a stranger to yourself. And thus you are unknown to you. What is yourself remains an alien to the part of you which thinks that it is real, but different from yourself. Who could be sane in such circumstances? Who but a madman could believe he is what he is not and judge against himself? There is a stranger in our midst who comes from an idea so foreign to the truth. He speaks a different language, looks upon a world truth does not know, and understands what truth regards as senseless. Stranger yet, he does not recognize to whom he comes, and yet maintains his home belongs to him, while he is alien now who is at home. And yet how easy it would be to say, "This is my home, here I belong, and will not leave because a madman says I must." What reason is there for not saying this? What could the reason be except that you had asked this stranger in to take your place, and let you be a stranger to yourself? No one would let him be dispossessed so needlessly unless he thought there were another home more suited to his tastes. Who is the stranger? Is it fear, or you who are unsuited to the home which God provided for his Son? Is fear his own, created in his likeness? Is it fear that love completes and is completed by? There is no home can shelter love and fear. They cannot coexist. If you are real, then fear must be illusion. And if fear is real, then you do not exist at all. How simply then the question is resolved. Who fears has but denied himself and said, "I am the stranger here, and so I leave my home to one more like me than myself, and give him all I thought belonged to me." Now is he exiled of necessity, not knowing who he is, uncertain of all things, but this, that he is not himself, and that his home has been denied to him. What does he search for now? What can he find? A stranger to himself can find no home wherever he may look, for he has made return impossible. His way is lost, except a miracle will search him out and show him that he is no stranger now. The miracle will come, for in his home his self remains. It asked no stranger in, and took no alien thought to be itself, and it will call its own unto itself in recognition of what is its own. Who is the stranger? Is he not the one yourself calls not? You are unable now to recognize this stranger in your midst, for you have given him your rightful place. It is yourself as certain of its own as God is of his Son. He cannot be confused about creation. He is sure of what belongs to him. No stranger can be intersposed between his knowledge and his Son's reality. He does not know of strangers. He is certain of his Son. God's certainty suffices. Whom he knows to be his Son belongs where he has set his Son forever. He has answered you who ask, "Who is the stranger?" Here his voice assures you quietly and sure that you are not a stranger to your Father, nor is your Creator a stranger made to you. Whom God has joined, remain forever one at home in him, no stranger to himself. Today we offer thanks that Christ has come to search the world for what belongs to him. His vision sees no strangers, but beholds his own and joyously unites with them. They see him as a stranger, for they do not recognize themselves, yet as they give him welcome they remember, and he leads them gently home again where they belong. Not one does Christ forget, not one he fails to give you to remember that your home may be complete and perfect as it was established. He has not forgotten you, but you will not remember him until you look on all as he does. Who denies his brother is denying him, and thus refusing to accept the gift of sight by which his self is clearly recognized, his home remembered, and salvation come. And that is our lesson for today, lesson number 160. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Let's see what Jesus has to say to us today. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. And as you read this lesson, do you not realize how often you are fearful? Do you not realize how many times you watch fearful movies or fearful television shows? That music that they play, that suspenseful music that is intended to make you frightened, believe it or not, separates you from your knowledge of God. That is why we are so insistent that you stop watching violent movies and frightening shows, the news and such. Because every time your consciousness is taken into fear, and fear is incited in your heart and mind, you become more separated from love. You become more separated from that which you would call God yourself. And so today we ask you to make a pact with yourself that you will no longer watch frightening and horrifying information, that you will, as you listen to the radio and hear about a local murder, that you turn it off, that you do not subject your mind to hateful and fear-inducing information, that when you turn on your computer or turn on your television, if you still have one, that you recognize the moment that fear is being incited in you. And would you, if you knew that this is going to cause you suffering, would you, if you knew that this is actually separating you from your connection to the divine, would you still listen? Because if you are, then you are making a choice that is intentional, and you are using your free will to disguise from you your true nature and the love that is your natural inheritance. Be aware of what you are using your free will for. When you go to the movies, are you being driven by society's dictates? Are you going to watch a movie where millions of people are killed or hundreds of people are killed? Or are you going to see a movie about infidelity and fearful ideas about relationships and the opposite sex? Why are you going to watch that kind of information? Stop and ask yourself, why am I going to this movie? Is it because I have been seduced into believing that this movie star is the be-all and end-all of my world? Ask yourself these questions, dear ones. Fear is not your natural home. Love is. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.